the second question because I think it will inform a lot of other things. I have been quiet for very long. I have been very quiet, and you know, it is unfortunate that the laundry will be aired today on the closing argument because I don't think it's the most appropriate place to air family laundry. But we have not become very political. So let me be very clear to you that at no point in time did my father ask for Senator Lawrence to be involved in his funeral. Let me be very clear.
Okay.
When my father was passing away, he was not on good terms with Nyamli Kanga Lawrence and Dara Dillon. That's okay because we can talk about that later. Because my mother and I saw the Kangas, because bear in mind now, my father had no role to play in his funeral, because my mother and I saw the Kangas as family. So, and we knew that Liberty Party knew that things that nobody else knew. Ben knew, Musa knew, Elder Jala knew, plenty of people in Liberty Party knew the very strained relationship that my father had with the two senators at the time. My mother and I decided to quiet the noise that we would ask Senator Lawrence to help with the burial. It was not my father. Let it be very clear. My father never anticipated his death. He didn't plan his funeral. It was the doing of my mom and I. We did it for Liberty Party because we knew the noise that was brewing in the background. Relative to him lifting her hand up as political leader, yes, there were conversations, Ben knows, behind the scenes as to who the people would, and Ben, we're gonna put it out. We'll just talk the truth here today. We'll put it out. You know, these are things we've been keeping for long. My father anticipated in his wildest dreams he was going to die from cancer in 2019. So he didn't say, I'm putting Yamli here up because I know I'm coming to die. I want to inherit my party, which is the narrative that has been propagated and perpetuated by a small side of Liberty Party and by some of the people in the Unity Party for obvious reasons. And Madam McCoy, Jackie, I want you to know I'm not here to attack UP. I want you that you and I will get to know each other. I am a person who is open because we are going to be calling UP voters to vote for us. We're calling CDC voters to vote for us. So I'm not here to attack Unity Party. It's just that Unity Party has actually played an active role in where Liberty Party is today. So we must speak to UP's place. The narrative has been that Charles Brumskine lifted Nyamli's hand and said that Nyamli will inherit the Liberty Party. If anyone knows my father, he was not one who believed in inheritance. My father, when I was in Liberty Party, Ben and I know that man did not want us anywhere because he knew Ben and I were like children to him. So he pushed us to work the hardest. He didn't believe in entitlement. If my father was the one who believed in inheritance, I would have inherited his law firm. Or it would have been me who he would have said, come and sit on my right side, let me make you political leader. No, that's not how Charles Brumskine thought. He, at that time, he felt, and to be very frank, since we're going to put it out there, it was important for him to have someone from the Bassa Belt and someone close to him to help transition. Because we all knew that this was going to be a transitional phase and that eventually that Councillor Brumskine would come back. So let me disabuse all of you of this idea that Councillor Brumskine gave Liberty Party to Nyamli. That's not how the man's mind worked. He was a man of governance, of structure. He didn't believe that one person would be handed something and maintain that thing for the rest of their term. So I wanted to be very, very clear. There was Ben, what was it? Your convention you had?
Executive council meeting.
2018, there was executive council meeting where Senator Lawrence was elected or selected as a political leader to end the tenure of Councillor Brumskine with the understanding everyone knew that eventually Councillor Brumskine would be the candidate this time around. He would be an active member of what was then the CPP. So, but this is the narrative that we have been quiet on for too long. And I have been quiet on it because I did not want confusion in my family. So let me end that. Now let's go to the question of what role have I played with reconciliation? I think anyone who has followed my press conferences, my Facebook posts, my conversations, they are clear that I have done everything to maintain the structure, the integrity, the continuation, and the stability of Liberty Party, including calling for these two sides to come together. I am a woman who supports women, but I would never support someone to the detriment of a political institution that impacts Liberia simply because she is my sister. Nor will I disparage someone because they are of another tribe. I had a whole press conference in December of 2021 where I called for unification of the party. I remember saying that even if Musa Bilite, Chairman Bilite, claims that he has the law on his side, but he does not have the population, where is the party going? I said likewise to Senator Lawrence, if you and your side claim that you have the Bassa vote and the populace, but you do not have the stamp of approval, the authority from National Election Commission given by the Constitution of Liberia, where are you going? We consistently call for reconciliation. Jackie, I stood to my detriment. I always say this. When I knew that there wasn't going to be reconciliation, I still stood and said, we're not going to go on either side. We will continue to try to see how we can bring these parties together. I spoke to Senator Lawrence. The thing that I have never told anyone publicly, I will say it today. 1 week before my December 11 endorsement program in Grand Bassa County, I was calling Senator Lawrence. Please, he says, come to this program. I wanted her to come for two reasons. It was good for me and it was good for her. Let Liberia see us united. My mother was in Liberia during the time of my convention. She met with Nyomli. She said, my niece, what happened? Why are you fighting Charlyne? What happened, mom? You will not go support her. Senator Lawrence told my mom, they had conversations, and then she said, I want you to speak to two people, Jacob Smith and Darrell Dillon. This was in December, 6 months ago. Dillon came to the house, met with my mom. My mom said, what happened? Dillon said, Charlyne, not standing with us. We said, but Dillon, how? Dillon said, reconcile. I said, Dillon, I've been doing everything to reconcile. He said, call Musa Bilite. Let me, you, and Musa meet. I called Musa. I said, Musa, we have to bring our party together. This is not that long ago, 6 months ago. Dillon, we got to bring our party together. Musa, we got to bring our party together. Dillon, Musa, and I met in my house less than 6 months ago with my last attempt to reconcile because I have been trying to do everything. At this point now, I'm running at the district level. I'm trying to get involved in national leadership to ensure the forward movement of our people and the better representation of Grand Bassa. Dillon, Musa came to my house. Those two men argued for almost 2 hours. Passionate, both of them passionate about how Liberty Party was going to move forward. Dillon demanding that we give Nyomli back the political leader title. And let me just be very clear that my big sister, my senator, and I've said it earlier, with all due respect to her, this is not meant as a jab. She is no longer the political leader of Liberty Party. Her tenure ended last October per our constitution, our governing document. Dillon said, give Nyomli the political leader titleship. Musa said he can't do it on his own. He got to talk to the EC. I mean, there was arguments. I pushed. I said, Musa, you got to do it. Musa even joked with us and said, you're Bassa people, you're getting against me. We said, Musa, now a Bassa thing. For Liberty Party to do it. I wanted them to do it because I knew that this would also be an opportunity for us to come together. We agreed that night. We agreed. Musa Bilite agreed. He said he will go back to the EC to make Nyomli political leader of Liberty Party again. December 6th, because it was a couple of days before my December 11th program. What we agreed on was, since my old man was in town, the first meeting was me, Dillon, and Musa. When we agreed, the next morning, we were going to call Justice Jane. Because Justice Jane was a friend to my father. He was somebody who had been trying to reconcile the Liberty Party. Then we will call the four of us now, Musa and Dillon, myself, Justice Jane. Then the last day, before I went to Bassa for my program, the Wednesday before I went, we would call my mother, Esther Brumskine, to sit. The five of us will meet, we'll reconcile Liberty Party. Normally, one political leader, we give it to her, we move on. The next day, when the three of us were supposed to meet, I called Justice Charlyne. It was a Monday morning, I believe, or Tuesday. I'm calling him. I can't reach him. He texts me finally. He says, I'm teaching at the law school. I said, Justice, it's urgent. I need you to come to the house. I finally been able to get Musa and Dylan on one page. We're going to reconcile Liberty Party. He said to me, I can be there at 6:45. I said, that's the earliest. He said, yeah. I called Musa. I said, Musa, Justice Charlyne has agreed. Today at my house, 6:45. I'm texting you. He said, okay. He joked. He said, make sure you got it. The World Cup were playing at the time. Make sure you got a game. I said, Musa, we had a game. I texted Dylan. Dylan, we on. What you wanted, we got it. Justice Charlyne, myself, and you will meet tonight. Dylan texted me. He said, he can't make it. I said, what do you mean? It's 6:45. It's too late. What do you mean 6:45 too late? Or 7 o'clock. I think I said 7. He said it's too late. Dylan, this is an opportunity for us to reconcile Liberty Party, to give the political leader title to our senator, and you telling me it's too late? So I began to panic because keep in mind, I have a vested interest now. I want Yumley at that program. I want Jacob Smith at the program. I want Dylan at the program. Right? The ones who were the Liberty Party, the Brumskine Knights, the Brumskine supporters, Brumskine daughter. Y'all can't do Bassa, y'all can't support me. So I had a vested interest. Let me not lie. To make sure we reconcile LP for all of the other reasons. Dylan never showed up. He never showed up. And maybe he has his reasons for not showing up. But what we will not do anymore, we will not blame Brumskine. What we'll not do anymore is say that I destroyed my father's legacy because we've been protecting individuals who were dead set on breaking the legacy that Councillor Brumskine left behind. It's a new day because it's not about me anymore. It's not about Councillor Brumskine and late. It's about Liberia. What Mr. Cummings has done is Mr. Cummings has decided that we are going to make sure we put Liberia first. So my sister, I tried to reconcile. Not everyone knew the story and I took lashes for it, but I remained quiet because I wanted to protect the friendship I had with my big sister, and I didn't want to go against Senator Dylan because Senator Dylan also has his army who will come. They will descend on me tomorrow. I know they will because I told this story. And lastly, as it relates to women, you were not on the call when I came earlier. We're not going to ever pit myself against Senator Lawrence, two women from Bassa. I will not do it. She is a woman in her own right. She has done great things for the Bassa people. She has done legislation for Liberia. She was the former political leader of Liberty Party. I thank her for what she has done. And I hope that she and I will work hand in hand to make sure that Liberia moves in the right direction. The Bassa people are afforded proper representation. But I, the CPP, Musability, Liberty Party, we will no longer remain quiet and take lashes for people who never had good intent. I'm not referring to Senator Lawrence. I'm not referring to her, but to people who did not have good intent. So I hope I've answered your question.
Jackie, you have a follow-up. You can go ahead with your follow-up. You're muted.
Yeah, my follow-up to that is that even if Dylan didn't show up, if that was like the general decision, how come, regardless of Dylan showing up, that the rest of the team didn't move forward with what was discussed? I mean, I'm not sure what happened, why he didn't show up. I'm sure if we have him on the show, he will respond to that. But if that was a discussion, how come y'all didn't just move on with the plan and call Senator Lawrence and say, look, for the peace sake, so we were supposed to have a meeting last night. We need to have another meeting, but this is what we'll discuss. We need to move forward on that.
Let me answer that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. And then I had a second question unrelated to this. But go ahead.
If you knew the venom, the strain of Liberty Party, where these two sides were barely speaking, and the person who is the emissary, who is representing